So today we're talking about Bitcoin mindsets. Might be a bit. I want to say if I can find somewhere to put up this phone. Is how long is it? Oh, there we go. All right. So I have the tripod now. So hold on. Let me get set up. All right. Now we can. Hold on. All right. I gotta do this. All right. Now we can talk about it. So Bitcoin mindsets. So Bitcoin maxi mindset is when you're like Bitcoin only, cold storage. Um, that's kind of the mindset that you really want to have if you're gonna be in this bitch long term. You gotta be able to suck up owning less Bitcoin if you fuck up. So that maxi mindset is gonna protect you from, I want to say, over leveraging yourself with any other instrument. So what a lot of people do, you lead the portfolio not with USD valuations, but Satoshi valuations. Once you literally, huh? Once you literally have that in your mind, nobody can stop you, and that's what I just fucking realized. Like once you have that in your mind, nobody can do a damn thing. Like now, outside of that, there's the ETFs, right? Paper Bitcoin. It's good to understand that as paper Bitcoin, it can be confiscated. Um, that's important to note. So, if you're ever trading other assets like stocks, you have to understand that they can be confiscated and seized at any time. So, once you have that in your mind, you're like, okay, damn, that they can seize this shit. What do you do properly? It's not that you do anything illegal because of that, but it's like, what do you do to protect yourself? So there's that. Um, yeah, there's that. Um, and if you're gonna protect yourself, is how you go about it, right? Like you you don't want to be protecting yourself in a way where you're breaking the law, but you want to structure your portfolio against like confiscation, not because you're doing anything illegal, but because the systems that operate finance have a history of just being so fucking wild, you know, in such a way where it's like, okay, money's gone, bail us in, bail us out. Okay, you did this wrong, now you owe us money. Who has time for that? How about we reduce our taxable events, right? And then you have a strategy. Because you don't win the strategy by playing the game and then saying you're not going to pay them the tax. Like, trust me, bro, you'll end up paying them the tax. So it's like, you don't want, like, and then I want to say another Bitcoin mindset is when you first discover Bitcoin, and then what will accidentally happen when you move your funds out of Bitcoin, you accidentally will treat every other asset like it's Bitcoin. That's something that I've accidentally done in the past, um, which it'll take you years to realize you've done it too. Like you won't realize it until you basically get priced out. You won't realize it until you get priced out. So with that being said, um, you have to manage your satoshis in such a way where you're not going to get priced out, where you're not Bitcoin poor at the end of the day. Like, to be Bitcoin poor at the end of the day is to be worse than USD poor, because now the hours you work, you can't even fit into Bitcoin. So that's a problem. You know, if you actually look at how many hours you can fit into Bitcoin, as long as the salary remains to be around $50,000 a year on average for the long term, that's where your problem comes in. So there's that. Um, but yeah, you want to be maneuvering this stuff in such a way to where you can't get touched. So Me personally, like, I think a better way to do it is if you make a trust. That's probably the best way to go about owning Bitcoin. Probably owning it personally is the best way because if you're not a trust, so you can be ordered to confiscate, like confiscate, like not confiscate, hand over, lien, like you know, you could be accused of a lot of stuff um, if you get it wrong. So taking that into account, make sure if you file anything to protect your assets, make sure you do it the legal right way because if you don't, that money is basically like void. So yeah, you gotta be careful. You have to be careful. But that's it for this video on Bitcoin mindsets. I know it's kind of like out of the blue and more so like random, but I think most people understand what I just said if you've been here in a while. But that's like some veteran mindset stuff because I think I'll just cap this at 10 minutes. But when you actually have like been here cycle to cycle and you're trying to learn from your mistakes, it's good to always say, you fucked up, you didn't understand Bitcoin as much as you should. And it's good to go always back and be a fucking Bitcoin maxi at the end of the day because these alts, they're not guaranteed to hold up. Solana next cycle might not even come back. That's like a big thing. So it's not that it's not that you're over leveraged or that you're trying to make it all back in one play, but you're trying to go for the the low and slow wealth building strategy because you can't build wealth quick. It's just not possible because like it's not that it's and I don't mean that you can't get something exponential. I mean that the mature mindset that actually builds wealth is not created easily and it doesn't just flip flop from okay, I'm building wealth and now I'm gonna go gamble everything. Like, it doesn't flip flop. So with that being said, you have to kind of reevaluate how you view the markets and your risk management strategy has to be contained to 6% sector risk. And within that sector, shares cannot precede 0.6 risk or higher. So with that being said, you can't actually, if you're going to be losing out on a position and you have that sector risk, and then, you have your position sizing, sector risk, and asymmetric risk, then you're actually working with something. Yeah, you're not going to be getting exponential returns, but that's because you're not gambling. You're actually trading. So when you understand that, that's kind of where you come back. That's where I was able to come back is actually understanding risk management better and actually, how should I put this? And actually not like just risking it all, losing it all, making a bunch and losing it all back. That's what it's about. It's not, you have to stay in that mindset. It's about how much you could keep in wealth preservation. Because if you don't start off with that mindset, you're ignoring the amount of buying power you already have. A lot of the buying power from $5,000 today will be equivalent to 150K in the future. And what I mean by that is that just in general, the prices that you're able to buy Bitcoin today for any amount of dollars is literally that amount of buying power is transferred out of that currency and you're using that buying power to have that buying power be retained in an asset class such as Bitcoin, permissionless. You can't stop that bitch. If somebody wants to send a transaction, you can't stop it. Now, I'll say you can't always spend it the way you want. Like, you can't always you can't literally do whatever you want when it comes to spending because the regulation isn't caught up. But with the ETFs, that kind of, in a way, it allows you to have some access to capital. So with that being said, I think I'll wrap this up. This is not financial advice. If you're going to be participating in any kind of markets, be prepared to lose it all. Don't buy shit coins. Don't buy Solana. Don't buy fucking Ethereum. The only thing smart contracts are good for is USDC. And with that said, I think a better bid for next cycle, if it's going to happen, will literally, Circle is going to outperform most altcoins. Will it outperform Bitcoin? We have to find out. But me personally, I plan on getting fucking damn near 100 Circle shares at least. And if that's the only stock I own, then fuck it. Like, if all I own is Circle at the end of the day, because they have to find a way to put this debt on chain and monetize the debt. With that process getting started, that Circle IPO is gonna be that might be one of the biggest stocks of the next fucking decade. I'm bullish on that stock specifically. That's a company I believe in. I don't necessarily believe in Coinbase, even though Coinbase kind of, with Circle and Coinbase, they kind of fucking have a weird relationship. But I'll leave it there. See you guys later, Capital.